Now let's check today's NBA highlights. First up, with tanking strategies growing in both audaciousness and frequency of use, can the league get its arms around the often effective practice? Next, the Mavericks disputed Lakers coach J.J. Redick's claim that their medical team examined the wrong part of Austin Reaves' body when the guard received a. Also, Lakers coach J.J. Redick subbed forward Jared Vanderbilt out of early in the second quarter, leading to a heated exchange between the two that Redick d. Meanwhile, Jason Tatum said that although he's not thrilled to return to the arena where he tore an Achilles less than a year ago, he is aiming to treat Thursday. Additionally, there's optimism Spurs star Victor Wembanyama, rib contusion, will play in at least one of the Spurs' remaining 3 games to qualify for postseason. And Doc Rivers declined to give a definitive answer but spoke about his desire to spend more time with his grandchildren when he was asked Tuesday about age. First up, Bulls CEO and President Michael Reinsdorf, who is looking for a new head of basketball operations after firing Arturas Karnisovas earlier this week, s. Next, if the Miami Heat are going to find their way back to the NBA playoffs, they'll have to survive the play-in tournament. That's your NBA update. Stay tuned for more. Moving on to European football news. First up, lacking Bernabeu magic, Real Madrid can tee up a more spectacular comeback in Munich in the Champions League. They've done it before. Next, Arsenal won it very late against Sporting CP, continuing a pattern of what to expect from the Gunners this season. Also, Vincent Kompany said he's impressed every day by Manuel Neuer after the veteran goalkeeper made 9 saves in Bayern Munich's 2-1 Champions League W. Meanwhile, Manchester United assistant manager Steve Holland has insisted the club have their eyes on more than just Champions League qualification going into th. Additionally, Kai Havertz scored in stoppage time to give Arsenal a 1-0 win in the first leg of its Champions League quarter-final against Sporting Lisbon on Tuesday. And Luis Diaz believes he made the right decision to join Bayern Munich from Liverpool last summer. First up, coach Alvaro Arbeloa said Real Madrid's chances of progressing in the Champions League are still alive after Kylian Mbappe's second-half goal saw off. Next, FA Cup semi-finalists Southampton continued their championship charge as they thrashed Wrexham 5-1 at Stoke Cairas to replace the Welsh side in the PLA. That's the latest from European football. Here's the latest from the NFL. First up, Peter Schrager leans on his intel after last week's annual league meeting to project picks in the NFL draft. Next, who are the best comps for Reuben Bain Jr., Jermud McCoy, and Fernando Mendoza? Also, Giants coach John Harbaugh expressed optimism during a video call with reporters Tuesday that defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence too will remain with th. Meanwhile, Steve Mongo McMichael died in 2025 at age 67 after a 5-year battle with ALS, and his wife Misty donated his brain to research. Additionally, Fernando Mendoza has informed the NFL that he is not planning to attend the draft, sources told ESPN. And tight end Kyle Pitts Sr. is signing his franchise tender and reported for the beginning of the Falcons' offseason workout program, according to NFL&E. First up, Colin Kaepernick said in a statement that his memoir out September 15, The Perilous Fight, will offer context for what led to his taking an E. Next, Lamar Jackson is getting off on the right foot with new coach Jesse Minter as he reported for the start of the Ravens' offseason workout program Monday. That's all the big NFL news for today. Time for baseball, here's the MLB update. First up, rookie shortstop Connor Griffin and the Pirates are in agreement on a 9-year extension, locking up the top prospect in baseball less than a week AF. Next, Angels designated hitter Jorge Soler charged the mound after Braves starter Reynaldo Lopez threw a high inside pitch, as both players threw punches. Also, Blue Jays all-star catcher Alejandro Kirk had surgery on his fractured left thumb and is expected to miss about 6 weeks, manager John Schneider told. Meanwhile, Cubs starting pitcher Cade Horton will have season-ending surgery to repair the ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow, manager Craig Counsell says. Additionally, Pittsburgh is optimistic about reaching a long-term contract with rookie shortstop Connor Griffin, 19, who was promoted last week in time for the home. And Houston Astros ace Hunter Brown has been diagnosed with a grade 2 right shoulder strain and will be kept from throwing for a few weeks, the team side. First up, the Texas Rangers say an MRI shows no structural issues with Jacob deGrom's right knee. Next, the Athletics option pitcher Luis Morales to AAA Las Vegas and manager Mark Kotsay said he hopes the 23-year-old right-hander regains his confidence. And that's your MLB roundup. More sports coming up. And in combat sports news. First up, former UFC flyweight champion breaks a tie in the ESPN P4P rankings with spectacular knockout. Next, here's a look at every weight class to determine the best of the best in UFC, PFL, and beyond. Also, Renato Moicano dominated American top team teammate Chris Duncan on Saturday, submitting him by rear naked choke in the second round of their UFC main. Meanwhile, a minor injury to UFC flyweight champ Joshua Van has postponed his title defense against Tatsuro Taira to UFC 328 on May 9, officials announced on Saturday. Additionally, Colby Covington has filed a lawsuit against UFC rival Jorge Masvidal over a 2022 attack that took place in Miami. And Nate Diaz said he'd prefer to challenge for the UFC's BMF title, instead of trying to kill off Conor McGregor in a blockbuster trilogy bout. First up, Johnny Eblen got back on track with a thoroughly dominant first-round submission victory over Brian Battle in the main event of PFL Pittsburgh. Next, Joe Pyfer scored the biggest win of his career by finishing two-time champion Israel Adesanya by ground and pound in round 2 in the UFC Fight Night mock. That's the latest from the Octagon. Don't go anywhere.